Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the brand new AN-94. This is actually a pretty good gun. I'm going to basically go over the best two class setups, one for Warzone, one for multiplayer, breaking down all the attachments, and then obviously telling you guys the base stats. So if you guys do enjoy this video and it helps you learn something new, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. So the first thing we're taking a look at is that base damage of the AN-94. Just like the AMAX they recently introduced in the last season, it has 4 different damages along with 4 different ranges, which is kind of unique. The base damage profile we take a look at is a 34, 28, 26, 20 damage profile. So its max damage range is a little bit higher than most of the assault rifles like the Ram 7, the Grau, and the M4. Its base damage is also higher than that of the Ram 7 and the Grau. As far as the overall fire, it's about 600 rounds per minute. The first 2 or 3 bullets shoot out a little bit faster, and then obviously the next few bullets shoot out normally. So it's something unique about it. As far as, like I said, that base range, the base range about 20 meters, and then 32 meters, and then 44 meters, which is actually pretty terrible. So it lacks in the range category. As far as the accuracy, the vertical recoil pattern, it has a lot of kick, and it has a decent amount of side-to-side variance. So I'm going to be 100% recommending something that's going to help with your stabilization like the VLK sight and the commando, and pretty much any attachment that reduces or helps recoil is definitely going to be good for this gun. Basically reminds me of the M4A1 but a little bit better. As far as your base mobility stats, about 250 milliseconds aim down sight time is actually pretty fast. Movement speed is about 95%. So it's pretty average in the mobility category, which is actually on the good end. It's a little bit faster than some of the other assault rifles, so it's pretty good. So as far as what we are going to be recommending for the best overall class setup for Warzone, is definitely going to play a bigger factor in Warzone versus in multi. There are going to be 2 different class setups. Obviously, every single class setup, we're going to start out with the most ammo possible. So the 60 round mag, obviously the monolith suppressor, and that longest long barrel. So I'm going to be recommending to go for the best accuracy. We're going to be using the VLK sight and the commando foregrip to give you guys the best accuracy class setup, obviously the best range possible, to help give this gun the best recoil pattern so you can hit most of your shots. As far as in multiplayer, we're running a different set of 5th attachments. We're going to be basing this with the Merc foregrip and obviously the long barrel together. Those kind of counter each other out. It's going to give you the least amount of recoil possible while also getting a slight improvement to your movement speed, which is going to help to make this gun a better rushing weapon. Obviously putting that 60 round mag on there and the monolith suppressor. As far as the best 5th attachment, this is the first time you guys are ever going to see me recommending the no stock attachment. The no stock attachment is a god attachment for this weapon. It's best on this gun, better than any other gun in the game. So I'm recommending either no stock with that Merc foregrip. Obviously, you guys know I usually recommend the tac laser because it's an excellent attachment, or run FMJ. I definitely find myself using FMJ. Definitely like it a lot in multiplayer. So that's your basic class setup: the 60 round mag, Merc foregrip, long barrel, monolith suppressor, and that no stock attachment. So as far as talking about the barrels and what they actually do, it has a short, medium, and a long barrel. The longest long barrel is the Factory X barrel. It gives you about 35% more range, about 50% better bullet velocity, which is amazing. Some of the best bullet velocity improvement, and obviously a lot less recoil, which you guys can see on the screen. As far as your aim down sight time, pretty average, about 46 milliseconds slower, so about 3 frames. Still pretty good. About 3% slower movement speed, about 30% worse hip fire, about 8% worse stray speed. So the negatives are pretty average, the positives are pretty average. It's just a basic long barrel. It definitely is 100% probably the best attachment to use on this gun. As far as the short barrel, you're getting about 1.5% faster movement speed, 30 milliseconds faster aim down sight time, 5% faster stray speed, and obviously a 5% better hip fire. You get a slightly more recoil, which you guys can see. A pretty big negative as far as the range, about 15% less and 30% worse bullet velocity. So this gun doesn't have the best range, doesn't have the best bullet velocity. So that short barrel pretty much gives you the biggest negatives where this gun sucks and gives you positives where the gun's pretty good. So I 100% recommend don't using any barrel besides that Factory X barrel. So the short barrel definitely 100% avoid. Obviously talking about what is the best grip, Merc versus Commando, you guys know, or the Ranger foregrip and the Tactical and the Operator are all good, but these two are just better. As far as the Merc, obviously you know 4% faster movement speed, 20% better hip fire. Aim down sight time is a little bit on the slow end at 34 milliseconds. Stray speed is pretty average at 8% slower, but it does give a very good reduce in recoil, which you guys can see. Obviously best stacked with the no stock attachment and the long barrel to give you the least amount of recoil. No stock stacking with the Merc foregrip is going to give you the best hip fire spread possible, obviously. As far as the Commando, pretty average. 2% slower movement speed, 15% slower stray speed. Does have that hidden slower stray speed stat. Obviously, best stacked with that VLK sight. and obviously best stacked with that longest long barrel to give you the best stabilization possible. I'm probably going to be using the Commando more than the Merc on this gun, just because that side-to-side variance was pretty much something I was not a fan of. So that's definitely what I think. Both are excellent grips. Biggest difference is if you're playing Warzone or you're playing multiplayer. If I'm playing Warzone, I'm using the Commando to get the best recoil. If I'm playing multiplayer, I'm putting on that Merc foregrip to get the best rushing class, because this is a close range weapon. Now, as far as about the last few unique stats, as far as about the no stock attachment, like I said, is the most unique. On this gun specifically, gives you 4% faster movement speed, which on a normal gun is about 1.5 or 2%. So it's almost 2 to 3 times faster movement speed improvement on any other gun in the game. Your ADS goes improved by about 33 milliseconds, which is excellent. Your stray speed's improved by 20%, which is amazing. And your hipfire spread is improved by 20%, which is excellent. So you stack with that Merc foregrip, your hipfire box is going to be incredible. You obviously do get a lot worse recoil, which you guys will be able to see on the screen. And obviously with that nerf they did of it, the recoil is not that bad. It's definitely controllable if you stack with the Merc, you stack with that long barrel for sure. But the idle sway, you guys will be able to see the video clip, it is terrible. I don't know why they did this. All they had to do was make the recoil slightly worse and the idle sway slightly worse. They basically threw this thing in the dumpster, which I'm not a fan of. But as far as some of the best class setup, you guys will see my difference in recoil. I have one class setup that has obviously the Merc foregrip with the no stock attachment, the recoil on the left, then obviously the Commando on the tack laser on the right. You guys can see it's still pretty good in recoil, even with that longest long barrel on the Merc foregrip, which helps counter the no stock. So it's definitely God tier attachment. I definitely 100% recommend it on this gun if you're playing multiplayer. As far as talking about the VLK sight, only 20 milliseconds slower aim down sight time, which is actually a pretty good stat. It was actually less than the average of the VLK sight for a bunch of other weapons, so it's definitely very good there. Obviously less kick, obviously better stabilization. I 100% recommend this as any attachment you're using in Warzone. It definitely is going to improve your stabilization and your kick. When you stack it with that longest long barrel on there, it's going to give you the best recoil pattern possible for Warzone to hit as many shots as possible. As far as talking about the last unique attachments, the skeleton stock, I really like this gun because it has a lot of unique attachments. Obviously in the stock category, only 8 milliseconds faster aim down sight time, which is pretty terrible. 20% faster stray speed. If you're playing multiplayer, you don't want to use that no stock attachment to get that worse idle sway and that worse recoil. Definitely can throw that no skeleton stock on there to replace it instead. It's definitely going to give you an excellent improvement in your stats. So with the 45 and 60 round mag, both same, about 9 milliseconds slower aim down sight time, which you will only notice on PC, you won't notice on a console. About 1% slower movement speed for the 45 round mag, 3% slower for the 60. That's pretty much your base for all of your attachments. It's pretty average, obviously. As far as the stipple grip, it's kind of minimal as far as the faster aim down sight time, only 12 milliseconds. Definitely get a good improvement to your sprint out and your tactile sprint out. The stipple grip is probably one of the few attachments I'm ever going to be recommending for this gun. Just because this is a close range weapon, the stipple grip is obviously going to improve your sprint out, which is going to help you win more close range gunfights. It's definitely excellent. Now, obviously, that tack laser, you guys know it's one of my most favorite attachments, especially in Warzone. It's going to give you a slight improvement to your aim down sight time, about 30 milliseconds faster. Obviously, a better idle sway, obviously a better walking steadiness to help you track those players in Warzone. I'm definitely 100% going to recommend this. It's one of the best attachments, obviously, for this gun. Improves the idle sway, improves your tracking and your aim down sight time, which is kind of hard to counter on this weapon. That's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully, you guys did learn something new. I definitely think this is a pretty good gun. Definitely does not rank up there as far as competing against the Ram, the M13, the Grau, and the M4 or the Kilo. I definitely think it's more on par with that, with the Scar and the AK. It's definitely not a top tier assault rifle. Definitely not my top 5 assault rifles, but it's a pretty good gun. You definitely can see a lot of people probably trying to use it. It's probably better in multiplayer because it's a close range weapon with a 3-shot kill range, which, as you guys know, that Bruin does have a 3-shot kill range, which is always the most popular weapon. So that's probably what's going to make it good, is that damage is probably the only thing holding it up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you guys did learn something new, you want to leave a like, leave a comment down below. You guys think about the AN-94. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.